Hello everyone, today I'm looking at Blood. This was a game I was actually looking to play for a while, and I'm not sure about the history of this game, but it's like on a certain Flash site, but not available through Steam. I thought, okay, that's weird. But it turns out there's Blood refueled or something, or a remaster of it, essentially. And so I basically got that version. And so Blood is pretty much, a Doom type, style game. Doom style type game. It's a Doom type game. And it's one of the few Doom types that have really stood out to me as, oh wow, this is actually very ambitious, very innovative. There's been a lot of boomer shooters. I think in, previous years or recent years, there's been things like Proteus, which is one of my favorite boomer shooters. And I think it's super underrated. However, this was one of the few Doom likes that really stood out to me. That was essentially from the same era, and so I was really curious to try it out and just see what it's like. And so, sure enough, I mean, it's very impressive in terms of selection. I mean, the funniest thing about this game is the TNT. And I don't know, I just think of that meme of Fist of the North Star, where a guy basically says, is throwing dynamite really a martial art? And he kind of says, well, hey, as long as it works. So it's all I thought of when I saw footage of this. But yeah, no, it was always really impressive how much, like how dynamic the gore was in this game. You'd have streams of different blood going out everywhere. And I'm not a super huge gore fan. I just really thought it was, wow, they put a lot of effort into this to make it dynamic and essentially different. And the whole game has it has a pretty somber tone. And what's interesting though about Blood, it actually has cutscenes and it has some semblance, more so than others, of a story. Essentially, there is some demon lord who you serve, and what occurs is that he essentially, how do you say this? He essentially says, "Oh, you failed me, and now I'm going to take your lover, and also I'm going to take your life." And so basically, you have to, even though you're a servant of evil and darkness, you want to take revenge on this demon lord who essentially betrayed you. And so the four levels are kind of revolving around that. So it's very similar to Doom's setup. You have four basic missions and a fifth kind of expansion mission, which is a lot of fun. And so each one has a distinct boss. And so I think it's actually kind of funny when I think about it. When you do the final boss, I didn't realize that, oh, you're fighting all the other bosses. So it goes from a silver gargoyle to a giant spider to Cerberus. And then the fourth and final boss, the demon lord, is, well, he's a demon lord. He's a stereotypical guy with wings or whatever. So yeah, it's pretty interesting how it shows, I don't know, for lack of a better word, blood guy, and his somewhat small character development. I thought it was pretty interesting that the very first boss, you basically rescue your long lost lover. She's dead though, but you still are able to essentially, put her to rest, put her soul to rest essentially. And then the other ones are just really kenotastic endings, where essentially you do things like just blowing up the boss, like Duke Nukem style. And then the very final boss, you kind of, it's revealed, he's actually your father, and now you have to, defeat your father. That's why it's the big twist. But yeah, so again, I'm really impressed by how there's different enemy types, different weapons. I actually feel really, really dumb, honestly, because I was in the very last area of the game, literally the boss area of the expansion of the last episode. And essentially I figured out that you can alt fire, and I literally spent the whole game not realizing you could do that, and I felt so stupid. I just by right clicking, you would do an alt fire, and I just, oh my god, I felt so dumb. And it even turns like starting weapons like the flare gun into a really formidable weapon, and it's actually a really smart concept or technique. Essentially, where the flare gun, instead of shooting one bullet, will shoot 10. Another thing that's very interesting about Blood is it's really focused on explosive kind of weapons. Essentially that, the very first kind of enemy types you fight, the undead, essentially you can shoot them with any kind of weapon, but they'll usually come back unless you do it with a submachine gun or I think something else. With a shotgun, you have to, wait for them to fall down and then they get back up again. With flares, though, it lights them on fire, and you don't have to worry about that. So it's a nice little thing that makes sense, I guess, for the time that for the starting weapon. It's thematic, essentially, that you're really burning away. So there's lots of lots of explosive and fire-based weapons, and just a lot of very interesting varieties. So yeah, you have the flare gun, double barrel shotgun. You have, of course, the TNT that you throw. Let's see. You have a plasma rifle, which is pretty funny. I mean, obviously, definitely taken from Doom, but yeah, very, very, very cool. Of course, you have the not rocket launcher, but napalm launcher. That works how you'd think. But then there's more interesting things like the what do you call it? The like staff of trapped souls or something, which shoots a series of explosive rays. And what's really cool is that you'll use souls to power it, but also its ammo is your health if you run out. So even if you're zero ammo, you can actually just keep firing, which I think is pretty interesting. Of course, the most interesting one is the voodoo doll, which is just like, what, that's just crazy, where essentially you have this doll where you puncture it whenever you're looking at an enemy. And if you alt fire with it, it actually will strangle the doll and it will take out any enemy in one hit. I'm not sure if that counts for bosses. Also, the enemy variety in this game is really interesting. So I'd say you have undead, you have cultists who are kind of the low defense, but ranged attack. You have the rushers, kind of like gargoyles, or kind of like fire-breathing dogs, like mini Cerberuses, essentially. You also have nuisances like spiders. There's just one thing. You have basically the I don't call it the Addams Family hand, where you have like this disembodied hand that actually wraps around your throat and will start choking you. And the first time it happened, I had no idea what was going on. It actually killed me. And so what it was essentially is you have to tap use or action in order to throw it off and then shoot it, and then it's just like a one-hit kill. So it's pretty easy. Honestly, oh yeah, there's also ghosts in this game, and ghosts, they're only vulnerable to certain weapon types. So honestly, one of the best weapons in the game, besides the plasma rifle, because it does like massive damage to bosses, is probably the Tommy gun, so a fully automatic Thompson submachine gun, because for whatever reason, like almost everything besides the ghosts is vulnerable to it, and it always has such a massive attack, essentially. And so for example, it'll kill ghosts, the zombies or whatever. It'll kill them without them getting back up again. It'll kill gargoyles. It's literally the best weapon in the game. It's the most versatile and easy to get to know or to get to use or whatever. Besides that, I think that's most of the enemies and weapons in the game. I'm not sure if I'm forgetting anything. I probably am. Oh, of course, there's different kinds of TNT. There's proximity TNT and remote TNT, and yeah, I barely use those. But it's interesting that they had that there instead of like remote bombs. Definitely, probably my favorite upgrade, more than quad damage in the original Quake games, or I think Doom had Berserk, is akimbo. And basically, you can hold your weapons, well, akimbo, but you also essentially have no reload displacement. In most things for the double barrel shotgun, most notably, every time you unload, you have to like reload it automatically, and there's no reload button. You just have to fire a shot twice. But it was really insane where if you get akimbo, there's no reloading. So you just turn that shotgun into a double barrel or a quadruple barrel double shotgun experience. It's really fun. So besides all the praises I would give Blood, though, I really honestly kind of did not like this game, and that was really because of the tone. The music is very, very weak in this game. Some levels don't even have music, and some of them like they just they don't even bother playing anything, or if there is music, it's the most dulcet, boring, whatever tone, and it just the tone of the game too. It feels, how do I put this? It's just super depressing. I don't know how else to say it. It's just super depressing how, oh, okay, everyone's, maybe it's the atmosphere or something, but as fun as the gameplay is, I don't think I can actually recommend this as a Doom type game that you can really get into. I mean, it's fine, but I don't know. I just did not like the tone. I mean, the story was somewhat interesting. I mean, the whole thing when he mourns his lover after killing the boss and, kind of moving on. I mean, that was Kino. And like they have these really, oh my god, like early 3D, like almost claymation ass looking cutscenes. It's really, really funny to me. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I still appreciate it at the same time. I actually love the cutscenes in this game just because they don't look like anything else I've ever really seen. It looks in between budget and not budget at the same time, if that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. I felt like the tone of Blood was just more, I don't know, negative or pessimistic. I honestly just played my own music while playing it, and it was a much better experience. But yeah, I don't know. That might differ from person to person, essentially. In terms of level layout, the level layout is phenomenal. You don't really, I think I got stuck like once or something when like there was this dam and I had to blow up the barrels to make the water rise. And I was looking around the level like, where do I go? But mostly the level design is really, really, really well done in this game. There's a few, there's the one where it's like, okay, you have to go around and find all the keys to activate all the doors, and then come back to square one. There's like only one of those, but most of them are very, I don't want to say linear, but it's as a bad thing, but it's a good thing that they're linear because it just flows, very well. Also, one thing that I found very funny is that I think it's all enemies, but some enemies when they fall into the water, they just like die, and I don't know. I remember I was like trying to swap to the right weapon, and both these gargoyles fell into the water and died. I was like, what the hell? And it turns out I got an achievement later on when I actually made enough people fall into the water, which is just, I don't know, funny to me. But yeah, no, it's been one of these things where I had in my mind, oh, Blood is the new evolution of Doom, and it kind of is. I think the main thing I really recognized from this game is that when enemies' heads, when they fall off, at least for the zombies, you can actually kick them when you walk into them, just automatically. And the thing I first thought of was like, oh, well, that's from Brutal Doom, which is a mod for Doom. So obviously Blood influenced a lot of, I guess, I don't know, if you, what you want to say, Doom culture or Doom modding or Doom mods or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it was fun to play, but I don't know. I just did not like the tone and the feeling of the game. I think the fact that every level ends with someone just screaming like "No, you did it" music, just really loud screaming and obnoxious sounds. Also, when you kill the cultists, they like scream really loud when they die. So honestly, I honestly got a pretty bad headache playing this game straight and for the whole campaign. But yeah, mechanically though, it's super sound though. But would I recommend it to someone who wants another Doom like game? I mean, I guess, but I don't know. I think there's better things to play, to be just fully honest and transparent with you. Oh, I think the biggest thing that really shocked me about this game is that you can jump, and I was just not used to that in any other previous Doom game. I mean, it just kind of, in Quake you could obviously jump, but here it was a brand new thing, and so jumping in essentially a game that feels exactly like Doom feels very Well, it feels a little bit weird at first, but it actually feels a lot of fun. Like the platforming in this game feels really, really good. I'm not sure if I'm misremembering. Can you not jump in Doom? Yeah, no, you definitely can't jump in Doom. You have to like run along the right edges or something to like get up the stairs. Yeah. So yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of things this game does again that really innovates, make things really interesting, different. It feels like Doom 3, to be honest, if such a thing could be said, at least in terms of its mechanics, but not its tone or anything else for that matter. Again, I would really love this game to have better music. It feels more, I don't know, demonic and negative in its aspect rather than, oh, you're the heroic space marine just killing the demons. It feels like, yeah, you pretty much are the evil guy anyway. And when the famous line from Blood Guy is, you know, good, bad, I'm the guy with the gun. And I think that pretty much sums it up. It's a very kind of, what would you say, neutral kind of game. Oh, the other thing that I noticed too throughout the game is there's a lot of different references to obviously, like, you know, movies like Halloween and Freddy Krueger and Nightmare on Elm Street and all that stuff. But I also found a lot of literary references, like the Cask of Armadillo, the what's it called? So the Something in the Pendulum by Edgar Allan Poe. What was it? Innismouth Medical Center, which is obviously from H.P. Lovecraft. So I was just kind of pleasantly surprised that there were quite a few literary references that helped inspire this game, which I found pretty interesting, I guess. So yeah, this is very much more of a horror-themed kind of FPS. I would say my favorite area or level is probably the Snowy Mansion level, just because I don't know, the setting just feels kind of cool, and even though it feels kind of Christmassy, it's obviously juxtaposed to what's really going on. There's also the Haunted Mansion, which I'm kind of conflicted about, because while it's cool in concept, it was so convoluted to get through that place that it soon became like maybe the longest level I spent time on because I had to keep backtracking. Oh yeah, the other last mechanic I should probably mention is the key system in this game. So while in Doom you have potentially 3 keys to get, which are red, blue, and yellow. In in Blood, you always have up to 6 keys to get, and so that'll dictate the flow of the map and where you need to go and things like that. And some of these things are called, what are they called? Like eye, moon, dagger, etc. And I think it works fairly well. It's very clear what these symbols are and what you are looking to, I guess, I don't know, control or create or find, you know, to shift the flow. I think there were only a few times where it was like, okay, I have no idea. I know I need a skull key, but I have no idea where it is. I guess also another item that I just found very funny was the ultimate health item in this game was called a life seed, and it's this giant nut with an eyeball in it. I don't know, I just thought, oh, that's really interesting. I just never thought of that. So yeah, there's a lot of mechanics and a lot of things that are super interesting about this game. In fact, every weapon, as I unfortunately found out, has alt fire. There's a good variety of weapons. The shotgun feels decent, I would say, but nothing super amazing. Also, the other thing I do like about it is Blood Guy's one-liners are pretty iconic. I really do enjoy them. He just has the right voice of someone who is completely, I don't know, just detached and ready to, kind of like sociopathic, essentially. So yeah. So no, Blood Guy sounds good. He looks good. He has kind of like a Midwest, Lone Ranger kind of look to him. Also, his main weapon, I forgot to mention, is a pitchfork. So we have, crowbars, fists, lead pipes, and pitchforks for this one. So again, there's a lot of things that this game does really interestingly well. And if anything, I would say the closest game to this is Dusk, which was kind of like the first, to my mind, the first major revival of the boomer shooter, I feel is much more inspired by this game than Doom. For example, just the fact that you have like a sickle as the main item is just, I don't know, it's really interesting. Anyway, so I kind of I know I've said a lot of really positive things about Blood, and I did enjoy playing it, but it just gave me a headache. That's all I have to say. I don't know. I feel like there's something here that if it got a real remaster or a remake or something, I feel there's something they could do aesthetically or with music at least or otherwise. I don't know. I feel like it's an underutilized IP, but yeah, I think that's all I can say about it for now. Again, also, my favorite thing about the secrets in this game is that they're always like hidden, or what I really like is the shortcuts. For example, you know, you'll go around one way and there'll be an explosive on the wall and you'll shoot it and it will open up this door to essentially, or a hole in the wall, essentially to the beginning of the level. And I really love that about games when you have like this loop, or you have this kind of dedication to the level design where it's like, okay, we're going to make sure that, you know, you never feel lost or abandoned, essentially. And I don't know, I just think that's really, I don't know, I felt it was very accommodating in terms of level design, which was really, really fun. In terms of levels, yeah, you go from kind of human landscapes later to more kind of Eldritch, kind of alien, you know, super flesh thing kind of areas. And with the final one being like, you know, and then temples and stuff and things like that. But then it starts, I think the first few levels are like a local church or something, or, you know, like a normal supermarket, human environment, etc. But yeah. And of course you have your typical, you know, diving suit, health pack, etc. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's all I can say really about Blood right now. It was fun. It was fun to play, but did not put me in a good mood. Which is some games just are like that. But mechanically, it's what if anyone's making a Doom type or a new Doom style game, I think they're also looking at Blood as a mechanical influence as much as anything else. Anyway, guys, that's all I got to say at this one. I will see you next time. Bye.